so beautiful outside right now. I'm about to go train for like 6 hours. It's gonna be a personal best. I'm gonna give it my all. This is basically a day of training like guts from Berserk. 7 degrees Celsius outside in Finland. I know I'm kinda exposing my location right now, but if you wanna break into my house, I challenge you, pussy. So yeah, I'm attempting to train until I like pass out, or I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm just gonna train for as long as possible and hopefully I can learn something. Plus I'm starting to get fat, so this has got to change. It's about to be 12 AM and everybody else is in school, but I decided to skip school today and do this shit instead, so hope you enjoy. So first up on the schedule here is a 5k run, but to my disappointment, the outside was still covered in ice. Eventually I found this beautiful field and started to do my run. I was aiming for under half an hour, which definitely should be pretty easy, but turns out the field was absolute dog shit to run on, and every time I started recording the distance tracker stopped working, so I probably ended up running about 6 kilometers here and I was already feeling like shit. Turns out it wasn't recording actually when I filmed, so I'll show you on the screen but it ended up being like 4 kilometers. Yeah, now on to the next, or on to the real workout I should say. Okay, so quick side note here. I just want to clarify that this workout is not productive or anything. Like, it's not productive to try to train until you like fucking pass out. That should be common sense, I think. But this was mainly a mental challenge for myself. So just wanted to get that out there. But after that, I moved to this park where I was gonna set up camp for the rest of the day and just do calisthenics for as long as possible and see how long I can stay awake. But first off, I wanted to test all my 1-rep maxes in all of these exercises. And while you watch me do that, gather around the campfire here, cause I'm gonna tell you a story nobody asked for. I got struck with this like gratitude for just being alive. Like, being alive is pretty fun if you think about it. Here I am, a young man full of potential, outside and training and proud to show himself to the world and smiles at people who walk by, and not in like a weird way of course. But yeah, it's weird how it wasn't even many years ago that I was like embarrassed to go outside and show my flabby ass fucking tits and hips to the world, and I was a fucking loser back then, man. I didn't even want to show myself outside. Like, I just wanted to stay inside and play video games all day. And now just a few years later of me actually putting in some good work, I'm like proud to show myself to the world, and I'm still just a fucking 20-year-old dumbass. Like, I don't know shit and I'm still happy to go outside. Even though I have improved for sure, like I'm still at the beginning of the true journey here, so that's what makes it the best part. There's so much opportunity ahead and you might not be so far yet, but who knows where you could be. So if you're in the position I was in a few years ago, like please put in as much work as you can in yourself, because it was so worth it for me at least, and it's actually not that hard once you look back and see the progress that was made. I myself followed this brain-dead modern advice of it's okay to be weak and all that shit, and I was honestly just depressed because of it, so don't follow that stupid shit. Nowadays, unless I'm getting my life ruined because of some girl or something, I'm super happy, and I wish all young men could feel the same way. So that was the story, let's get back to training. Man, I'm being a fucking pussy today.
You're a first-class cunt.
Now you might be wondering, why the fuck am I still here, alive and breathing?
It's hard to get any word in with this clown. Excuse me, this... Hey, let me just...
Well, my phone died, so I couldn't record anymore, or even keep track of my reps or anything. It was just me outside, alone by this point forward. But I learned some interesting things that I think you'll find cool. After my phone died, I started getting colder, my body started getting tired, I started to feel like throwing up, my mind stopped seeing the point of all this. I couldn't record anymore, like, I thought about how easy it would be to just go home. I lived close to the park. There was nothing to do anymore except to keep training to keep myself warm. No more music, just me alone with my thoughts, cold and alone, growing more and more exhausted. Started thinking, nobody knows I'm out here. No one gives a shit. Just stop this nonsense and go home. But then I told my brain to shut the fuck up, and I kept training. I was so determined to keep training until I dropped dead. I just wanted to see if you can go that far. It had been like, I don't know, close to 2 hours at this point, and I trained for another hour, but then I just gave in. I didn't even last 3 hours.
You're a pussy.
Yeah, you can flame me in the comments. I'm a pussy, I know. It's actually crazy how much your brain is gonna start telling you to give up. It's gotta be like evolutionary or something. I don't think you're supposed to be able to even keep yourself from training too hard. It would be kind of like trying to die from simply choosing not to breathe. However, I know from experience that the human body is capable of all kinds of shit if it's mandatory and not optional, unlike this challenge was. So I have another fun story that ties in with this. So I served in the Finnish military voluntary for a year. It's like mandatory in Finland to go, yeah, whatever. We had many of these exercises that usually lasted about a week, and they're spent in some forest, and you practice battlefield strategies, and they are all shit, especially in the winter. And in the winter we had one particularly shit week spent in the forest in constantly below -10 degrees Celsius, and me and my squad's task was to take care of the night watch like the entire week, and we were supposed to keep watch during the night and get to sleep in the morning, and we didn't for 3 days. The first 3 mornings we had some sudden fucking emergency causing us to miss our sleeping turn. And we had to work all next day without any sleep, only for us to keep watch again during the night with no sleep yet. And this pattern repeated for 3 days. 1, 2, 3. 3 days at like -15 degrees Celsius, no warmth, no sleep, barely any food. And even if it felt like you would surely die at the night watch, where you would just stand still there in the cold as shit weather, you somehow didn't. You just felt worse and worse, but somehow your body kept on functioning anyway. So what can we take away from my workout today? Well, your body is capable of way more than 3-hour workout sessions outside in the snow. It's always gonna be your mind failing before your body. And if you want to see what your body is truly capable of, you either have to have an unbelievably disciplined mind or have someone else force you to keep going. And maybe then you can keep working out until you eventually pass out. But you can make fun of me for giving up today because I deserve it, and because I knew I could have kept going, yet I stopped anyway. My mind eventually failed. Make sure yours doesn't by telling yourself strength before weakness.